We are back. Slight hiatus, but we're back for a new cash game episode. And there he is.
The Destroyer of Worlds. It is Ken, the Destroyer of Worlds, who walked away with $7,000 on a $1,500 buy-in last time.
Yep. He's back with another $1,500 buy-in. See if he can run it up again. It's going to be hard to do.
You guys know Marty. There he is playing the 10-5 on the first hand. Austin, you may remember, he busted our sit and go pretty early. That's the only time he's been on Poker Time. It's his first cash game experience. Let's see how he does.
Got middle pair for Marty and a gut shot for the Terminator.
Terminator's going to just go ahead and bet his gut shot.
It's like a pretty easy call for $15 for Marty. Pretty wet board.
Also, Marty doesn't fold.
That too. Good card for both players.
Better for Marty in that Terminator did not hit his gut shot or a queen.
But also none of the obvious draws come in.
Yep.
So Marty can pretty reasonably call here for 35. Looks like he's going to.
This is ambitious from Terminator. He knows Marty. It's ambitious for him to try to get Marty to fold anything once he calls the flop.
Let's see. Well, see, this is...
it could work on this card if he really goes for it.
He'd have to be repping King Queen and didn't raise pre-flop. It's a little tough, but I guess he could have like King 6 or King 8. So he's just going to keep betting here.
50 into 130. I mean, Marty's probably supposed to fold a lot of the time with his hand, but it is Marty, so it's in the top 99% of his distribution. He's probably going to call.
He does call. This seems right. He even throws it into Terminator's chips. Terminator turns bottom pair into a bluff right away. I don't know that he needed to do that. Marty could absolutely have been on a draw. This may have played better as a bluff catcher, but it's close.
Well, I hope that is indicative that these guys are just going to fight for every pot.
Me too.
Because that would be a lot of fun.
Marty saying, I am the immovable object. You are not an irresistible force.
I don't know.
That's what he's saying.
But he is the Terminator. Like,
right.
Only like a hydraulic press can stop a Terminator. And that's only before they learned how to be liquid.
I feel like, no, but there's other things that have been used at times, like the, like not an EMP, but like an MRI was used to, I think, really hurt the Terminatrix in number 3.
Oh, yeah. Who can remember?
I remember. Batiste with the real hand. And here comes the open.
I heard somebody call him Denim Jesus the other day.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I saw him recently at a tournament, and he wasn't wearing a denim jacket. And I said, what's with the no denim? And he said, I'm wearing jeans. So, fair enough, sir.
You were able to recognize him at first blush?
No, he came and said, it's me. It's Batiste. And I was
Can
like...
you tell? Wonka's going to be forced to call here.
Yep. This is one of the problems, of course, with calling with this type of a hand in the big blind. But you're getting a price. You can make a straight.
Maybe he folds a6. I don't know.
I bet he doesn't. He probably isn't supposed to.
He's probably not. Well, he's got the gut shot. This is kind of... If he had the ace of clubs, it would be a cool semi-bluff hand. But Batiste is the one with the ace of clubs, in fact.
Yeah.
And Terminator is the one with top pair.
I don't think Wonka's going to be able to continue with 2 people behind him. He will not. And this is probably going to be over unless Hank has something. Or decides not to. Whoa!
Batiste.
Not believing.
He's got the confidence denim today.
Yeah, he does, of course, as Grant said, have the ace of clubs, which makes this a much easier call and a reasonable call.
Also, this is a perfect card.
Dream card. Dream card.
Terminator's on the button as well. He could be just taking a stab. Ace Jack could be ahead. And there you go. Batiste gets there.
Hard to make any money now once you get there. This is the only problem, but fair enough. He's like, let me just check. But he's got to know he's got it, right? Figure he wouldn't have made that call without the ace of clubs in his hand.
You got one?
He asked the Terminator if he had a club.
I saw you look.
Let's see how much he bets here.
I don't think he's going to get called no matter what.
No. 120. What are you supposed to be beating if you're Terminator?
I mean, nothing. Nothing plays that way that you're beating. Batiste did his best to do a whole speech and everything.
Yeah.
But it's tough to get a call from just a 9 there.
No, I think he's hoping Terminator has any club.
We know you didn't fold these 3.
Any club would have been great and might have gotten a call.
You were right. You were behind.
Batiste very happy to have won.
Yeah, he's up now.
I would like to say that if it had gone the other way and the hands had gotten shown, Batiste would have been upset about getting sucked out on.
I think that might be correct.
But it was totally reasonable.
See you next week, right? Maybe, I don't know.
Marty says, Queen 5.
I'm the V-pip master.
That's right. I will own all
Here's
Although Hank
Austin.
is here, lots of players
You're keeping track?
who could fight for the V-pip crown. V-pip, of course, is voluntary put chips in the pot. Or
And look at this. Austin is going to raise it up with the king 5 suited. He probably has watched all of the poker times.
At least one or two of them.
And he wants to isolate Marty's extremely wide range here from
Smart.
the button, which is a reasonable thought.
Yeah, I like it. And he
Marty
gets
just
to win.
folds, which I'm a little bit surprised by.
Yep. Maybe Marty realizes he's out of position and it's a bad spot, which it is. I mean, queen 5 off is pretty much always a bad spot if you're not in the big blind.
Yep, you don't have to put yourself in those queen 5 spots if you're not in the big
Yeah,
blind.
you know, we all have different styles. That's a style, which is to just play any 2 cards a lot.
And, tank a lot when you get shoved on when you have, like,
Yeah, king 9.
7, 8 off.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well,
I have seen him make some loose calls in my time, though.
such a
And those
sad
he
show,
tanks
I
and,
like.
and calls sometimes. with,
Sometimes
like
he does.
8 high and stuff
losing
like that.
thousands
So
of dollars.
is that? I don't think the tanks are just. Hey, Marty can't
Hey,
take that.
10-5.
You aren't just gonna raise me off my hands, buddy.
Marty's going to be the raiser now. Austin with an unknown hand is just going to call. It's probably a better hand than than the king 5 suited. Yeah,
I mean, yeah. There we go.
Already in trouble.
definitely a better hand than Marty's hand.
2 pots.
Wonka calling with a dominated 5.
Surprising.
I'm-
Dominated in all ways. Diamonds also.
Maybe Batiste's needling over the years has finally gotten to him.
By the way, Ken also has diamonds. This is kind of crazy.
I don't think diamonds are going to flop, Jonathan. That's my prediction.
Well, you can say it if you want.
None of these hands are really that good.
Austin and Batiste, I guess, have the best 2 hands.
Yeah.
But, you know, they ain't amazing.
1 diamond and a queen for Ken. Ken, who destroys all worlds, somehow in a 5-way pot has queen 8 on a queen jack 4 flop, and nobody is even close to having a hand as good as his.
Austin's got 2 back doors and bottom pair. It checks through. That does not help anyone, but
Batiste picks up a pair, and Ken is, of course, going to win this pot like all the time because
Whether-
that's just what Ken does.
no matter what anyone else does.
Yeah.
Whatever decisions anyone makes. We've seen this movie before.
Ken bets almost pot, by the way.
Batiste not going to be able to call, I don't think, with all these people behind him. And no kicker on his 7. Maybe if he has ace 7, he could think about it.
He can't call that.
There's nothing to think about. I think it's just going to go away unless Austin gets very sticky.
If it was a diamond, I assume Austin would have called.
Yeah. He might have even raised if it was a diamond.
All right. The Ken train keeps on going, I guess. We'll see if that can be stopped at all. I mean, it was just absurd watching Ken just win pot after pot. He
got-
even had a couple big pots that he lost at the end.
Yeah,
And
still.
didn't matter.
Still was the biggest winner of all time. Here's the other thing. Ken actually kind of broke people a little bit. Like we saw people, just check folding top pair with no resistance and things like that, which was really shocking. Players we normally do not see doing that.
Right. It was the aura that Ken. It's not necessarily his playstyle or anything. It's just that they had this idea that Ken could not lose.
Yeah. Like he always had it.
Yeah.
He just was always going to have it. And so Ken then started making some moves at the end too, which was sweet. Remember he raised the river as a bluff. Let's see if Austin, this is a pretty good candidate for a 3-bet here.
We are in relatively early position for that, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It also plays well post flop.
Yeah.
It's a suited hand, so it's okay to call.
That's true. And also, you're going to get so many callers in this, even if you 3-bet. Maybe it's better to keep the pot smaller with the drawing hand.
And
You can make a
Terminator,
case.
Terminator only 2.5x'd it as well.
Yeah. So it's super cheap. Looks like Hank is thinking about
So
pushing
reasonable
this
to
baby up.
3-bet.
Absolutely.
It's good to see Hank being aggressive. In previous episodes, he's been a little bit more call-y pre-flop. It's cool to see him take the initiative here.
This is a good play. He could size it bigger, but
Yeah.
this probably works better as about 100, 110 when you're out of position against 2 players. But still, I like the 3-bet as well. And he gets a call from Terminator with the ace-5 off, which is just like delightful if you've got ace-queen.
He's in great shape against these hands,
Yeah.
obviously.
Not
And
in- oh, he
even
still
more
is.
so. Terminator has the backdoor nut flush draw and the 5.
But besides that, these guys just have 1 out to improve, besides the backdoor hearts. That's amazing.
Gotta love that flop when you have ace queen, you 3-bet out of position, get called in 2 spots.
Terminator looks like he is not interested in folding here. This 5. He does have the ace of hearts, as you said. That's a reason to call. Austin being behind you is a reason to fold. Also, the bet in front of you is a reason to fold.
Well,
But
Austin
okay.
has to fold now.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if Austin did anything but fold. There we go. Guess he could raise if he wanted to lose his mind. But that's
Austin
really
appears
it.
to be suspicious of anybody who bets at any time. Or maybe that's just his poker face, but that's what it looks
No,
like.
I think what you're saying is right. I think he's one of those guys who likes to steal a lot, and just so he assumes everyone else is stealing too.
This is kind of a bad card for Hank because
Yeah.
Jack 10 got there, 8-9 improved.
Not amazing, but I don't hate the bet.
I don't
Having
hate the
said
bet
that. But I agree, you don't love it because you could get raised and it would be bad. And you don't really have Jack 10 very often in your range, and Terminator has it in his.
Yeah.
That's. But Terminator doesn't have that many Jack 10s compared to all the other millions of hands he can have, as
Well,
we see.
Sure. I'm just saying, of all the cards, it's one of the worst cards in the deck.
It's not a great card.
Yeah,
You're right.
A 9 and a king are probably worse cards, but other than that, I think that's maybe the worst.
The king is pretty bad.
I guess it wasn't a heart. If it was a heart, that would make it the worst.
Yeah, well said. King of Hearts, really bad card. Probably have to check on the King of Hearts there.
Looks like we got a quick little stoppage. Let's talk about Nitrogen Sports Poker Room.
Okay.
It's just on
We
the
gonna do
felt.
that?
No, not
Oh,
really.
yeah, but that's our new felt,
Yeah,
by the way.
check it out.
It's so cool. Look at that huge N.
Yeah, that is an N, right?
I'm not sure. It doesn't have to be, does it? It could be
It could
so
be like
many
a
things.
bludgeoning instrument.
I feel like a cool video game sniper rifle like target, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Anyway, here's Marty with the 7-4 off. Even Marty won't play the 7-4 off.
Fortnite.
Fortnite,
I'm
yeah.
just saying that for the clicks. I've never played it.
We're going to work that into the title for sure. Get the clicks here. Wonka still with nothing.
Bitcoin Fortnite. Now we have 1 million views.
Ken raises to 20. The old min raise in a cash game, but okay. It's going to be hard to get people. It looks like Snuggie is not interested in.
He's 3-betting.
Yes, he is.
That's reasonable. It's
What
hard.
is-
It's hard to win with sixes if you don't 3-bet here. I mean, you have to flop a set most of the time to win, or very favorable flops.
Also, you're supposed to really get it heads up almost always when
But
Hank
that's
just
not
calls
what.
$15.
That's not what happens when Hank's there. And well, there's a gut shot for Hank. Ken has middle pair, and Snuggie has one of the many bad flops for sixes.
I mean, it could be a lot worse than this, but it's not a great flop. But there are many, many worse flops. Wow, Ken is just like, I've got a pretty good hand, so I'm never
mean,
folding.
when Snuggie bets 120 here, you have to
Yeah.
call with ace-8.
By the way, Hank could really call with his gutter and
He could.
in-betweens there, you know, meaning cards in between the 8 and the queen. That's what
Yeah,
we're
the
calling
in-betweens.
now. That's what we're calling those now.
Anyway, I think I just want to reiterate. I think Ken's call is mandatory on the flop once we're here with the backdoor spade draw
I agree.
as well.
I agree with you. Goes check, check. Great spot here for Ken. And, now it's easy.
Even better spot now. He's just hoping Snuggie has ace-king.
Snuggie should really, I think, bluff that card, but he's right not to. But I think that's a good bluffing card for him.
And Snuggie, I think, already folded.
Yeah.
Ken bet pretty small, but it's a horrible run out for sixes.
I mean, King Queen might fold the river when the ace comes, right? Queen Jack might fold the river. Probably going to even.
All right, so Ken's 2 for 2, and they're both pretty big pots already.
Yeah, and they're just like easy peasy, no problem.
Yeah, he doesn't really have to make tough decisions. It's just, gets to win.
That's how it's been for this guy. It's just like, some days you're surfing and the waves are knocking you over, and other days you're just the king of the water. You're Aquaman. That's Ken's new nickname, by the way, Aquaman,
I don't think it is.
because you're the king of the water.
I disagree. Strongly disagree.
Well, here's Terminator with the King 10 suited. Definitely going to play this one.
Private anymore.
See how he sizes this. Remember in our last cash game, he was sizing everything to 25 when he raised. Looks like he's learned his lesson.
He actually, I think, made a joke about that earlier when he was making it 25 earlier
yeah.
in this episode.
Well, I guess Ken's going to win this hand.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, guys.
25 hand.
You have to size it so big just to get Ken out. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Snuggie.
Oh, things are going backwards. But
Well, that's exciting. Snuggie. I think
Snuggie
he
has
put in his
called.
call already, right?
Yeah, he has called.
Okay.
So Randy made it 40.
Oh, I think we just heard the dealer say that
Oh,
was
it's
Brittany
40.
saying it was 40, not
Ah.
50, and we're just correcting that.
Got it. All right, good. There we go. Snuggie calls with the 6-5 off from the small blind.
Snuggie's here to play.
Yes, he is. Marty
Marty
makes a completely reasonable call.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
by hook or by crook.
you're going to be given the cards that make it reasonable.
Hey,
Hey,
that's a great flop for Marty.
Yes.
Snuggie has a gut shot. Nobody else really has anything on this flop.
Well, I mean, Ken has the best hand, but I don't expect he's going to win this one.
I mean, it's a very bad hand against these players when one of the blinds
this.
leads
Look
into.
at
And then
this.
Terminator is calling.
Wow.
He is. And Ken looks like he's calling.
How does Ken do it?
He just knows. Although he has 28% equity, so I don't know if that really counts.
He somehow is the best hand right now, and he has position.
I'm going to bet on not Ken's hand.
It's so hard for Ken to win.
Yeah.
Marty with the most equity. I liked his donk there into so many people on this board.
Well-
Ken still has the best hand.
But I mean,
Surely Marty's gonna
going to
win.
bet again. This is going to end things. Terminator was floating. It didn't work out. He's done. Ken can't call now.
55.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he lets it go. Nice aggression by Marty.
Yeah.
I actually like his line quite a bit there.
56 of
Me too.
diamonds? 56 of diamonds. Oh.
But he's just now putting him on 5-6 of diamonds. Close enough.
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close.
I think Marty could have top 2 there also.
Marty can have a lot of
draw,
things
Marty.
there. We've seen Marty be very aggressive with a whole host of hands and ranges.
Yep. And also not fold them to aggression.
Yes. That guy, the only thing he hates worse than chlamydia is folding.
Good point.
Yeah. And it's not that, it's not that I'm not trying to imply that anyone has chlamydia. I'm not saying that.
Wow.
He just has a
What are you
real,
doing?
No, I'm saying he's got a real personal vendetta against STDs and chlamydia in particular, if you talk to him.
All right, weird stuff from Levy.
Yeah, that was just a weird joke that went awry.
Yeah, it was a big mistake.
Gonna
All right,
happen.
Austin opens. King Jack suited. Ken is going to 3-bet with the 10s.
I like it. Seems reasonable.
Small 3-bet, though.
Whoa, Hank's gonna
flat.
flat.
Does he realize there's a 3-bet?
He does. He put out $85.
Snuggy's going to flat as well.
That makes more sense than Hank flatting of the two.
Yep.
But you really need Austin to not 4-bet for this to be a good flat for either of these players, right? The moment Austin 4-bets, it's a disaster. Now, he's not going to.
Well, this is a great candidate for a call. He does block major hands with the kings and the jacks.
Cool, but you know what he doesn't block?
Aces.
Queens, aces, ace king.
He does block ace king. What are
He
you
blocks
thinking,
ace king a little bit.
Well, aren't you a poker guy?
No.
Shouldn't be anymore. Those are black chips in
Whoa,
his hand.
he's going to put in a re-raise here?
This might work.
Let's see how big it gets.
Ken is not supposed to continue against a big 4-bet here.
He's not going to.
305. Yeah, Ken has to fold 10s
This
there.
is definitely going to work, right?
Yep.
There's no way these guys can call another 220 with the hands they have. They're just not deep enough for Snuggy to be able to set mine here.
Hank's just thinking about the way to best hurt Austin later, I think.
And the reason why Grant says that, of course, is not because it's not that Ken's a violent fellow. It's
You mean
because,
Hank?
well, I'm talking about Ken right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that Hank's a violent fellow. It's just that Hank's job is the coolest job in the history of jobs.
Personal protector.
Yeah. He will,
He'll mess you up.
he tells some stories.
Yeah.
That guy's got stories. Snuggy, not interested in folding yet, but surely he's going to find a fold here, right?
I mean, Austin has a lot of gigantic pairs in his range here. He's
Oh, yeah.
under the gun, and he just 4-bet. A guy who 3-bet him from what? Snuggy is...
No.
Snuggy moves in.
re-raises! Oh, my gosh!
This is going to work.
Look how sad Austin is.
He's like, why did I do that?
Okay, let's think about it before Austin just... I imagine you'd almost find a fold here, but what is Snuggy supposed to be doing this with, really? Like, I guess you're afraid he has, like, ace-jack or ace-queen?
Ace-king, maybe.
Ace-king where he flatted and now is suddenly re-raising all... Like, the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
But we have king-jack.
How does Snuggy know to move in here? Did he pick up something on Austin?
Austin's reaching.
There's no way. How much more is it?
Can't really hear what
He
Austin's
made it.
mumbling
It's
there.
like 800 more to call. It can't be that bad if you call, but it's obviously a reasonable fold too. Meaning, like, it's so rare for Snuggy to have you crushed.
It really is.
You're usually in a flip or close to it, and the price the pot is laying you is good enough.
Austin could have just called for 55, and instead he has to fold. Wow.
Queen in your hand, right? No.
That is an interesting play by
Woo!
Snuggy.
I was hoping you'd throw a little bit of queen 4 off there.
Big money out there.
This game's got some legs, Jonathan. This game has some serious legs.
It's got a lot of leg. I don't know about legs. It's a little.
No,
much.
it's like a centipede. Like a human centipede.
Centipede's got a lot of legs too. A human centipede.
What? No, who said that?
We are really off the rails, and it's just the first episode. It's early in the first episode, by the way. Wow,
Ken-
Snuggy just made that great play before the commercial, and
Ken makes it 20 again. I guess that's the thing he's going to do. Hank's like, screw you, Ken. I'm making it 60. And look, Snuggy really doesn't want to fold today.
Snuggy somehow is right again. By the way,
And Terminator's getting in there with the 7-5 off.
sure, he's in the small blind.
It's poker time.
he gets
All
to-
ranges are acceptable.
He gets to act first on every street after this. How could you know?
Austin's considering it, but the threat of the 4-bet should be worrying.
He's calling.
But he called.
And
Ken has to call.
Yeah.
I forgot that Marty called with Queen 8 off. I didn't even really notice that.
There's too much going on to notice that.
This is
also on the other side of the screen.
3-bet pot. Everybody take note. This is a 3-bet pot. Look at the hands.
Yeah. Look at the hands. All right. Well, does anyone have anything?
Snuggie does. Snuggie has top pair with the backdoor nut flush draw.
And that's kind of it. We got a gut shot for the Terminator. Backdoors for Austin and Ken.
And Hank's going to bet it into everybody with his
He's got a gut shot as well.
This is ambitious, though.
Yep. Snuggie clearly not folding yet.
Did he raise? He did. He made it 250.
That's going to have to end things.
Yeah.
Almost always. Although I would have thought that was true about Austin's 4-bet.
Yep.
How about Austin making that above the rim play and just getting it shoved down his throat?
Yeah.
That was amazing. Hank is saying, "Get out of here, buddy. I'm going to hit a 5. And you're going to hate it."
Oh, my goodness. What is happening?
Drawing dead to a 5 or running deuces here. Snuggie, by the way, also with the ace of hearts in his hand.
Well, that card shouldn't change anything. And if Snuggie bets again, this has to end, right?
It has to. Surely Hank's not going to
550 also. I mean,
it's a reasonable size.
It's a reasonable size, but is Hank really going to call 550 at this point with a gut shot?
No.
He does have 6% equity.
He's not going to do it. All right. Reason and logic prevail. I knew it.
Hank was just thinking for a second, thinking like, well, Snuggie's a little bigger than Austin. I might have to hurt him in a different way than I hurt Austin.
You think when Hank sees a guy, he just is immediately thinking like, how many ways can I kill that guy right now?
I don't think.
There's like 35 ways I can kill that guy.
No, I think having talked to Hank, I think he's actually a very nice man.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to hurt anybody.
Oh, yeah,
But sometimes you force his hand.
Yeah, when I was saying the ways you can kill a guy, I didn't mean it like he wants to kill them, just like from a technical, professional thought, thank you for this pen. I can kill you 45 ways with this pen right now.
It's like when you or I sit down at a poker table and we open and we're like, okay, what am I going to do if I get 3-bet?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
It's like that.
Not that I expect to get 3-bet, not that I want to get 3-bet, but you're thinking about it. You're always thinking about it. I'm sure Hank is thinking about stuff like that, right? Maybe not how many ways how I'm going to inject you with the ink of this pen to give you poisoning, blood poisoning.
Anyway, Hank opens to 16.
There he is.
And Snuggie's got ace 9 again.
bet?
No, Marty. Oh, it is. It is. Marty 3-bets the queen 10 off because that's the nuts for Marty.
This is just... These games are never going to get bad, are they? This show is just always incredible.
With these players, they're going to put chips in no matter what. That's for sure.
Oh!
4-bet.
Oh, my God. Hank cannot take it anymore.
560 from Hank, and this is the end of it, right? I mean, Marty's getting a good price, but his hand is bad.
I mean, at this point, Hank is committed to this pot. I don't know if he knows it, but he's committed to this pot. If Marty were to move in, Hank is supposed to call.
Yep.
For sure. Although maybe if Marty were to move in, Hank could decide to get away from it. But really, unless Marty had aces, you'd have to call anyway.
Yeah.
Marty clearly going to find a fold here. Look at that. That's the Marty I hate my life. I'm going to fold, although maybe I should call face.
Marty hates folding so much.
You know what he hates? The only thing he hates more than folding?
Getting beat up by Hank.
That's actually comes in just slightly at number 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 1?
Non-beanie hats.
Close. Chlamydia. But again, not because anyone has it. It's just a joke, people. Just a joke that came out of nowhere.
It's just an act. Okay. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
Good idea. Hope no one's offended by that one.
Just a random joke Jonathan made.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. So we've just had... We normally don't have crazy preflop action like this. Usually the crazy preflop action is someone raises, someone re-raises, everybody calls. Now we're seeing 4-bets and 5-bets even with weak hands. Hands that normally do not rate a 4 or 5-bet.
Nobody's had aces, kings, queens, or jacks yet.
Or ace-king.
Or ace-king.
Or ace-queen.
No, Hank had ace-queen.
Okay, you're right. Hank had ace-queen. But we've seen a 5-bet all in, and we've just seen a big committing 4-bet.
Yep.
Wow. And we are 23 minutes into this session.
It's pretty good.
Holy camoles. What is coming next?
The chips are going to move around in this one.
Yes, they are. How wonderful.
Snuggie's trying to win the V-pip war these days, and Marty says, hell no.
Terminator says, hold my beer.
Coffee, actually. Terminator drinks a ton of coffee.
Of course. All right, so here we go. We got Wonka with an actual hand. He's got to 3-bet this, right? Against these guys?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
these ranges.
Of course he's going to 3-bet this. The question is what size. The problem is getting 4-bet does suck a lot, but sometimes you just have to accept that.
I mean, one thing at a time, right? First things first, we're in the small blind. We can play this hand as if it's pocket 3s. But we should play this for value when Snuggie's opening and these guys are calling.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
Destroying the only person you're even vaguely worried about is Snuggie, right?
I think he verbalized a raise amount. One. Oh, Ken, destroyer of worlds.
How does he? I mean, wow.
This is absurd.
So this is what Ken looks like when he's got the nuts and someone is. Wow, he doesn't take very long. Looks like he just announces
He
it.
announced 525, I think I heard.
Well, you know, this is interesting because the preflop dynamic at this table is so unusual.
All right, so this is an interesting spot for Wonka now.
Now, if Wonka had watched the previous sessions of Poker Time, I think he'd find this a pretty easy fold, right?
Right, Ken was winning a lot of pots, but it wasn't through massive preflop aggression.
No.
And especially since Wonka is 3-betting from the most vulnerable position at the table, it's not normally a spot that the big blind, when other people still have yet to act, is going to 4-bet as a bluff.
Right.
But if Wonka just heard Ken won a lot of money and didn't see how, he might
Right.
assume Ken was doing it with crazy preflop plays.
Wonka clearly has not thrown away his hand yet. Okay, here's a question. Is there any justification at all to not go all in and just call here? You're calling up so much.
No,
you
I
really
think
can't
that's
do
a
that.
horrible play.
You got to move in and just go with it, or you got to fold.
Yep. I think normally fold if you don't
Yeah.
know anything about the
I
player.
think this is a fold. I mean, let's also, if we're going to do any kind of sort of profiling here, like if I didn't know anything, I was just looking at Ken. Like that guy looks like he is enjoys a lot of golf, and I would fold my hand.
And plays like one World Series event a year.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
is not going to try to make a super above the rim play preflop if you knew nothing else about him but his looks. Yeah.
Right. Now Ken is looking at him, staring at him a little bit, which is kind of a good play by Ken, actually. I kind of like that. Let's see if he's doing anything else. Wonka doesn't seem to know what to do. Oh! Wonka
Oh,
moves in
and
and Ken
Ken says,
immediately calls.
There's the Wonka face.
That may be the thumbnail for this video.
It might. Yeah. It's pretty good. That's a good idea.
So Wonka could have gotten away pretty cheap, but now he's in it.
Well, he has
4
4
outs.
additional outs.
It's pretty good.
It's actually 6 outs.
Yes, you're right. But none of them come, and once again, Ken eats somebody's lunch.
That is not a way you want to start a session if you're Wonka. He's going to
Yeah.
go to the window, get some more chips. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you got the wallet there, but that's a tough emotional hill to climb right away.
It sucks. Wonka looks like he's in good spirits about it, but he is pretty much always in good spirits, in fairness to him. It's so easy for Ken. You pick up aces, and the guy just 5-bet shoves into you. No
This
problem.
is unbelievable, the run Ken is on Poker Time. If you combine just this 30 minutes with the last 6 or however many episodes it was he was
Yeah.
on, it's an absurd run.
Yes.
The hourly win rate is like he's a super user.
I mean, he's at about 5 hours played, and now he's up something like almost $7,000, right? So he's making like $1,200 an hour, a little more,
At
$1,400 an hour.
5'10".
Yeah, 5'10", like $1,400 an hour, 140 blinds an hour. That's what he's doing right now.
That's illegal. You're not allowed to make that many blinds an hour, or else the kids will like run the data and find out that you're a super user and you're caught.
Yeah, this is outrageous. Outrageous. I mean, if Ken doesn't have things like Ace-5 suited in his range there, and I don't think he does.
I don't believe he does. Either.
I think Wonka's only hope ever is that we get it in against Ace-King there, right? That's the only thing Ken's going to show up with that's even a good spot for us.
I gotta believe Wonka didn't see the session with Ken in
Yes.
it and assumed that because Ken won so much, he had to be making a ton of
Right.
aggressive plays pre-flop because
Right.
how else could he win so much in such a short time?
I also wonder if just the 4-betting and 5-betting that's already been going on in this first half hour made Wonka think like perhaps Ken's like getting caught up in it too. A
Right,
little bit, you know?
right.
Like you could tell yourself that story like, oh, everyone's just doing this now.
Well, Marty has caught the Ken disease and is min raising in a cash game.
Yep. Wonka is reloaded as we see.
Now the equities might say that Ken has 36% to win this hand, but we know that's not true.
It's going to be hard for anyone else to win. Marty, in theory, has the best hand right now.
As analytical, scientific minds, I think we can assume that Ken wins this 94% of the time,
Yep.
even on this flop.
A 4 would be a disaster for Marty, an offsuit 4 especially.
Marty's going to bet it.
Probably this is going to be it, though. What am I talking
Ken is calling with King Jack.
Batiste has the gut shot, the overs, and the backdoor clubs. It's a weak backdoor
I
club
kind
draw.
of love calling with a 6 against Marty. If
Yeah.
Marty has an ace and a 4 comes, we're getting it all.
Yeah, we probably are, unless it's the 4 clubs.
Well, Batiste rushes
Huh.
to the lead, but Marty now has a better
Yeah.
gut shot.
Huge hand suddenly for Marty. Let's see how this hand could get interesting. You know?
Marty's got the 4 for the 7 high straight draw. He's got the nut flush draw, and he's got 2 overs.
Yep, and they are all good. You see, he does have the most equity right now.
And Ken's going to give up whatever he was doing
Yeah.
on the flop there.
Batiste now zooms ahead in terms of the equity lead, but this is getting a little bit sticky.
300. 300 into
Whoa.
210. I think Batiste might just fold.
It's a weird spot because would Marty ever bet 300 with a straight? I don't know if he would. But it's so, I don't know what Marty would do.
There's 2 flush draws. Maybe you would.
Maybe he would. Yeah. Batiste, I can understand this is
Show me a card or something?
yes, if Marty will show him a card. They are allowed to do this.
I'll take that.
They can show as many cards as they want when they're heads up.
No, Marty's not doing it.
They can also say anything they want about their hand or the other player's
Sure, I'll
hand.
show one. That's what I'm afraid of. Marty, most people don't have a 4 in this spot, but you do.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Why?
Batiste doesn't want to give it up.
Nope.
Why so much though? Just setting up that shove on the end. All right, you take.
He lets it go.
See, that was interesting. Batiste said, why so much? And Marty said, because I wanted you to fold. And then Batiste folded, which normally when someone says that, they have it. But Marty didn't have it.
He didn't.
And he showed.
He did, but Marty had a very good hand nonetheless.
Of course. It's a hand that's going to be really hard for Batiste to win whether Marty improves or not on the river, if Marty decides to fire again.
Right. It has to be a 6 or maybe just like a jack or something.
Or just, I'm going to be super stubborn,
Yeah.
which we have seen Batiste do, but not very often. Marty's a good candidate to be super stubborn against, though.
Absolutely.
We've seen so many insane hands already. This is great.
Yeah.
How fun. Frickin' poker time.
That's what you said,
I
right?
said frickin' poker time. What I like now is that we're really getting this great view of the
Yeah.
felt. I
Well,
think
the
that's
gray,
important.
the gray is kind of nice, you know.
Marty going to call with 2 8s.
All right.
Terminator
Terminator
raises
raises.
Terminator really changing his sizing now, and I like to see that. And this is Marty clearly not going to fold 2 8s here.
Oh,
Whoa!
No, he's going to 3-bet 2 8s.
Wow, this game is so different. The pre-flop aggression. Marty
know-
just limpery raised with 2 8s, and Terminator folds it out, and Marty shows the 8s.
A lot of these players, if not all of them, watch all of the games, at least the games that they're in on Poker Time.
Sure.
And they may have realized that one of the things that we tend to be more critical of is lack of pre-flop aggression with certain hands. We feel like people are being passive too frequently, and they may be taking note of that. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, it's interesting because a lot of the hands they're choosing to do this pre-flop aggression with aren't necessarily hands I would pick.
Right.
But having said that, it's worked out really well. I think everyone who's made these strong pre-flop aggressive decisions, except for Wonka, which was not really like a bluff anyway. He was doing it for value.
He was kind
He's
of like
the only guy who
deciding.
did it for value,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It's worked out really well so far. Because it's hard to call a 4-bet. That's just the way it is, you know?
I mean, depends on who you ask.
Okay, that's a great point.
Hank and Snuggie might not agree.
Batiste with the real hand. After Marty limps the queen 9.
Snuggie's getting in there.
Why not?
Snuggie and Marty are the vortex of calling pre-flop.
Snuggie does have live cards and 18% equity. So you put those things together, it's $50.
Well, Marty flops best. Snuggie flops a gut shot. Batiste hates this flop.
He does have 2 back doors and overs.
Marty's just going to bet it out of flow into Batiste.
I have a feeling Batiste's not going to fold for 1 bet here when Marty does that, though. Now, here's a question. Should we call or should we raise as Batiste if we're going to play?
Batiste is going to call.
It's not crazy. We're on the button to do that.
Snuggie's
says-
going to call with the gut shot now that he's getting a better price.
Yeah. 7 of hearts would be a fun little card, huh?
It would be delightful. 3 of hearts.
Good for Batiste.
Yep. Snuggie picks up a flush draw as well, but he's not too excited about
Can't
it.
be. It's going to check 2 Batiste. I think Batiste probably has to fire here.
Should definitely fire here once check 2.
He's got the king of hearts blocker. When they both check, Snuggie rarely has a big hand. Marty almost never has a big hand. I like that Batiste is betting. This feels right.
Now, I don't know if this is going to work against Marty particularly,
Yeah.
but it should work against this hand. When this card comes off, the way the action's gone, Marty is not in a good spot here.
No, I agree. Like, Batiste rarely has 2 8s or 2 7s. So Snuggie's thinking about it. I guess that 8 of hearts is sort of pulling him in a little, but he lets it go.
He wants to play.
Look at Marty. Marty calls quick.
Easiest call in the world for Marty.
Marty's like, you can't just push me around, Batiste. And I guess that's true. Well, this pot's got $1,000 in it, and we have 1 pair. One person has 1 pair, and
And it's not top pair. And well, that should kill Marty's desire to continue in the hand a little bit. But at the same point, it's not a great story if Batiste bets again unless he's saying I have a flush.
Well, he could have queen jack.
And he could have a flush.
Yeah.
Those are both true. But Batiste just gives up. Which is reasonable against Marty once Marty decides to call 275 on the turn.
It's reasonable, but that's not the worst card because Batiste is much more likely to have queen jack than Marty is. And could have a flush too. Very well could have a flush.
Yeah,
too.
and Marty
never has a flush, pretty much.
Not
right?
usually. He may have bet the flop with a flush draw, but if he got there, I imagine he would have continued betting.
Me too. Or raise or something.
Yeah.
He's really going to go check, call, check.
Could have had 2 of them.
So that's a tough spot, though, when you're actually sitting there and that card comes in. You're like, ugh. Marty especially can have a straight. He can have all the weird stuff.
And you're also sitting there
It's 2
looking
pair
at Marty,
hands.
and you're like, this guy just isn't going to
Yeah.
fold, right?
What's it going to take? Do you
Yeah.
have to go all in? At the same point, you go all in. You don't need to work that often.
But it hurts a lot when it doesn't work, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, it's going to work at least half the time.
You end up like Wonka. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to end up like Wonka.
No one does. Austin going to raise it up. The suited ace wheel card.
Hank with
I
the,
thought Hank was going to throw it away, but
but he's got the unsuited ace wheel card.
Yeah.
Snuggy's got an actual reasonable calling hand.
yes. Apparently, it was only raised to 30, not 40.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was 40 originally. I guess that was last time.
Always said 30. Great
And
flop for Austin.
Yeah, huge flop. That said, I don't think Hank's folding for one bet. Just tell you right now, that seems unlikely.
No, Hank flopped an inkling of something, and that usually means Hank's not folding.
Yep. A 4 would not be a good card for Hank. There's only 2 of them left, but
Luckily, the 5 of spades is not a card that can come for Hank.
by the way, this is not the end of the world for Hank to call here on the button where
No.
he can now against Austin's hand here it's not super great. But against Austin's range, this is fine. And if Austin ever were to give up, Hank could try and steal the pot. I don't think it's going to work. I expect Austin to continue here, even though we're looking at Hank.
Well, Hank's looking at Austin. So.
Oh, Austin's going to check.
He might think Hank has a lot of 8s in his
Oh.
range, and the 7 is not going to get an 8 to fold.
I like a bet a whole lot more than a check there if we're going to call on the flop as Hank. So is
Well-
Austin going to turn his hand into a bluff? No.
Is Hank going to turn his hand into a
He is. Oh, I thought he wasn't going to. Now it looks like he is.
This is going to work, right?
I think it is. Hank looks like he has an 8, right?
Yep. Maybe 8-9. 8-9 makes all the sense in the
Sure.
world.
Sure. Could also have like 9-10 of spades or something.
7-9 of spades.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Can't
don't-
imagine Austin's going to call. By the way, if Austin were to call, he would actually win this pot. It is not a chop.
He might have. Yeah, I know. He might have been
about
thinking
that?
about raising. He might have been
Yeah.
thinking maybe Hank has something like 6-8, and he'll fold if I raise.
Right.
You know. But that
So-
would be tough to pull off.
I'm a little surprised Austin didn't continue on the turn there and instead opted to check, where he's often going to have to check call, which doesn't. Maybe he's going to check raise because check calling doesn't play super well out of position with that kind of a hand. I feel like a bet to just build the pot and have full equity works better.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But you could obviously it's fine to check it once in a while and
He was
check raise.
probably
and-
just thinking Hank is really sticky, and
Yeah.
that card is not above the top pair on the flop.
Yeah, those are
So-
good reasons. Those are. I mean, if you think he's got an 8 and he's not folding, you could bet to keep it small to to sort of price yourself into it. But otherwise,
Whoa! Look at the discipline from Austin under the gun, folding deuces.
And looks like it was brilliant because Wonka has 2 7s.
Our producer Titania
Yeah.
is telling me this is our last hand.
It's Tatiana, but yes.
Well, she likes it when I say Titania because it's like endearing because I misspoke the first time and
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I remember those days back in
when-
2001.
Back when we were all friends.
Yeah.
Now
Since
I'm
then
just
the
another
fallout
drone.
has been bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But who cares
let's not
about
talk
Titania?
about Titania anymore. All right. So for our last hand, we have some connected type hands, some suited type hands, and a pair. Marty
Yeah.
flops best.
Yep. Not a whole lot else out there for anybody.
Terminator has 2 back doors.
Yep. Usually there's going to be somebody with 2 back doors. I guess in theory Hank has 2 back doors also, but they are weak.
Yes, quite weak. Hank did not bet. Often Hank will bet when checked to in spots like that.
Yeah.
Well, now Terminator's in the lead. However, Marty does make an open-ended straight draw here.
Marty bets 75. This feels like a super easy call for Terminator when Marty bets this little.
Yeah, I mean, he might be slightly worried about people behind him, but nobody bet the flop, and he just folds. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't even have a good kicker with this queen, but Marty doesn't have good kickers.
And Hank folds as well, and Marty gets to win the last
Wow.
hand of the first episode of this session. We'll see you guys next week for the next episode.
This was so lively.